other bit of advice, 'cause we like to always share lessons and these stuff. So you've worked on helping break a lot of different artists with their first singles. That's actually they've had PR behind, or whether it be an EP launch. What's your advice for artists trying to get noticed at the moment? So they've got their song, they've been working on their sound, they're still bootstrapping, they're not signed to no label, but I'm about to release a single this summer that I'm really hoping for, and I may have a couple other in the can. If we all kind of just spoke to it, what would you be doing to make sure that that artist has the best opportunity to make as much noise as possible? Let's go with R&B, because there's always this discourse about there's not enough R&B in the UK.
Yeah. It's funny because I was actually thinking of an R&B artist at the time, because we worked with an artist called Essie Malia, and it was her very first release as an R&B artist. And again, she wasn't somebody that had a high following, but her sound was like, as soon as I heard her track, I was like, yes, like I'm definitely working with you, because I know that this is something that is going to get the love and support that it should get right now. Put aside the fact that, you know, this is your first release. You probably won't have a lot of followers at the moment, which you didn't naturally. But I think it's being open to meeting new people. You don't necessarily know who's looking at your stuff or who is listening to your music, who's looking at your socials. So I think just be open to connecting with people and just enjoying the journey, I think. At the same time, it's making sure that you are your number one fan. I think it's constantly pushing your music, constantly sharing it. Even if it's a track that you released a month ago, you need to push it like you released it a day ago, you know, just so that people are able to access that, because you're always going to have a new listener. So I think it's just being
when you say push, how should they be pushing it? WhatsApp messages, social media, like is there any specific strategies or hacks that you kind of recommend to say to the artists, it's better if you actually share it on this platform and maybe focus more on this platform or this channel?
There's many different ways. I think there's traditional marketing, like you just mentioned, like there's mailing lists and things like that. But I think there can be a fine line with things like using like WhatsApp and mailing lists and email threads and things like that, just because sometimes it kind of crosses over to someone's personal boundaries, and you don't want to overstep that, because then it's like you've almost like pissed someone off, and it's like, I don't want to open that now. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, that's my free time, or that's my personal space. I'd rather not. But it works for some people, so I don't want to shun it. But I'd say maybe utilising all social platforms, so like Instagram, Twitter. TikTok is a big one, I think, just because the algorithm allows people to really interact, and it would then push it wider. That's something that you don't necessarily get on places like, that's something you don't necessarily get on like Instagram, for example. You have to overshare on Instagram, and I know people are quite conscious of, oh, you've shared it again, oh, you shared it again, oh, you shared it again. But it's like with TikTok, it's like it reaches the right people because it goes off people's algorithms. So definitely utilize TikTok where you can, I think, and just jump on trends as well. When I say trends, I mean more
Make it your own though.
No, I don't necessarily mean on TikTok. I just mean knowing that, okay, if
this video starts working,
like if most people are interested in this style of content, let me try and do this. Or if I find that my followers are more engaged on Twitter, I might just use that for a little bit and then implement the others. So it's like, you need to think about how it works for you as a tailored artist. I wouldn't say what works for one artist would work for another.
Okay. And you talked about, funny enough, pissing people off with if you're hitting them on the wrong channel, when it comes to like campaigns, have you ever been in that situation where it's kind of rubbed audience or people the wrong way, or it's not gone as well as you had hoped, or maybe didn't deliver results? And how did you kind of deal with that? Because with PR and marketing, nothing is ever guaranteed, right? So like, how do you deal with those kind of situations? Have you ever been in one of those kind of situations?
Not necessarily to piss someone off, I don't think. You do get like them journalists that are like, take me off your mailing list. And it's like, that's only if it's like really corporate stuff. Like I do have like, we don't just work with artists, so we've worked with like music charities and things like that as well. So it's like we reach out to.
Yeah, you worked with our charity recently.
I did.
We've been
I worked
working.
with the Student View. Well, we have been working. We are working.
We're live.
Yeah. So it's like a different type of journo, and they naturally get a lot of different press releases. And I think my job is to build a relationship with a journalist. So I would naturally know they might like this, they might not like this. So my job isn't to do media blasts. So we don't actually do media blasts. We actually tailor every single media list to the client. So no, I'm going to say no, that I haven't really pissed anyone off, just because a journo can be like, Brenda, maybe not, this one isn't for me. Like, they're okay with saying no, and I'm okay with hearing no. Yeah, I think just don't send people stuff on WhatsApp.
That's the one thing to avoid,
I think
yeah.
that's the one thing. And DMs, Insta DMs. I think that one's a little bit annoying too. But just because, again, it's just personal space, it's personal boundaries. You don't want to go onto your social and then here's a link to my music. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's just my own personal preference as well.
Okay, I hear that.